Hello, welcome to the Warrior Food version 3.0 product training. So before we talk about the product specifically, I want to give you a little background information on protein in general that will help you understand why Warrior Food is such a great product. So proteins are long chain molecules that contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, and they sometimes have sulfur as well. And these long chain molecules are made up of a compound known as amino acids. There are actually about 20 different amino acids in our bodies, and our bodies use those amino acids as the building blocks to make all the different types of protein molecules that are required for optimal structure and function of your body. And of these 20 amino acids, 9 are considered essential, which basically means you have to eat these in your diet. Your body can't make the essential amino acids. The other 11 of the 20 are considered non-essential amino acids, and that means you don't necessarily have to eat them because your body can make these non-essential amino acids in your liver from various other nutrients. So let's talk about the concept of complete protein. A complete protein is a food or a supplement that contains all the essential amino acids in proportions similar to what is found in the human body. And animal proteins are typically complete because animals produce protein molecules that contain these essential amino acids in a ratio which is very similar to what the human body produces. So that makes sense, right? So animal proteins generally have all the essential amino acids in the right proportion, and they're therefore considered complete protein sources. So things like whey and casein, all these proteins listed here are considered complete. Vegetarian proteins, on the other hand, are considered to be generally incomplete proteins. And there are some exceptions. There are some vegetarian proteins that are complete. But most vegetarian protein is incomplete, which means that it's low in one of the essential amino acids. One of the essential amino acids would be the, quote, limiting amino acid in that protein because there's just not enough of it compared to what the human body requires to build protein molecules. And so to give you an analogy to help you understand why complete proteins are considered good, imagine a carpenter building a house. So to build a house, you need a variety of different raw materials, things like nails and drywall and 2x4s and drywall screws, etc. So imagine if you went in to build that house and you only had one box of nails. All construction of that house would quickly stop because you would run out of nails. And that's similar to what happens with protein production in the human body. If you eat proteins that are mostly incomplete, deficient in, let's say, lysine, one of the essential amino acids, well, your body needs lysine to make all protein molecules that it makes. And so if you don't have a lot of lysine in your diet, protein production will quickly stop in your body because you'll quickly run out of lysine. So this is why the concept of complete protein is important, but fortunately for vegetarians, it turns out that your liver can store amino acids for 24 to 48 hours. So as long as you get all the essential amino acids in your diet, as long as you have a varied diet that contains all the essential amino acids, within a 24 to 48 hour period, your body will be able to continue protein production effectively. So generally, it's not really something that vegetarians need to worry about as long as their diet is varied and as long as there are many different types of protein sources in their diet. And the possible exception to that is lysine. There are so many vegetarian foods that are low in lysine that many vegetarians are deficient in lysine. So that is the one amino acid really vegetarians would be wise to pay attention to. So let's talk about a little bit about the vegetarian proteins here. I've got a list. Most of these are incomplete protein sources. Vegetables, almost always incomplete. Few exceptions to that. Chlorella, spirulina, and Klamath Lake algae are vegetables that are complete proteins. Fruits, almost always incomplete. Avocados, though, are one example of a fruit that is a complete protein. Avocados only have about 8% protein, though not a lot of protein in avocados, but the protein that is there is complete. It has all the essential amino acids in proportions similar to what the human body requires. Rice is definitely an incomplete protein, very low in lysine, as are almost all grains, low in lysine. So lysine is that limiting amino acid, which makes them incomplete protein. There are a few grains, however, that are complete. Quinoa, amaranth, and buckwheat are considered complete proteins. They have a fair amount of lysine, so those grains are complete. Oats, another example of a grain that is an incomplete protein. Pasta, since it's made out of grains, will be incomplete unless it's made out of quinoa. Seeds and nuts, generally incomplete. There are some seeds and nuts that are complete proteins though. Things like pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, cashew are generally considered complete. Hemp may be a little borderline. Hemp tends to be fairly low in lysine, but most people think of it as a complete protein. It's got enough lysine that most people think of it as complete. Bread, definitely an incomplete protein since it's made out of grains, unless it's made out of quinoa, in which case it would be complete. Sunflower seeds, another example of an incomplete protein in the vegetarian world. A couple other proteins for vegetarians that turn out to be fairly important. Nutritional yeast, really great complete protein source that's high in lysine. Also bee pollen, another great vegetarian protein that is complete and high in lysine. So next to water, protein is the most abundant substance in the human body. And it's really an essential structural component for every type of cell, which includes muscles, skin, bones, organs, tendons, cartilage, and ligaments. And there are also a variety of biologically active protein compounds in the body, things like enzymes, antibodies, hormones, neurotransmitters, lymph cells, cell membrane receptors, and many other types of molecules that are made out of protein. So protein is clearly important. It's clearly important that your diet contain a variety of protein sources so you get all the essential amino acids in a proportion similar to what your human body requires. Now that we have a little background on protein in general, let's talk about the Warrior Food version 3.0 protein blend. In other words, the ingredients in Warrior Food that provide the protein content. Warrior Food's 100% plant-based and raw, concentrated, complete, hypoallergenic, highly digestible, non-GMO and bioavailable protein powder, which is made from sprouted brown rice and yellow pea protein. So Warrior Food has a number of ingredients depending on the flavor, which we'll discuss in more detail in the next slide. But in this slide, we want to talk specifically about the sprouted brown rice protein and the yellow pea protein that provide the protein content in Warrior Food. So the organic sprouted brown rice protein, this is really great protein. Now, we talked about in the previous slide how rice is an incomplete protein. It's lacking in lysine. And actually, when you sprout brown rice, it becomes a complete protein. It brings the lysine content up to the level of being a complete protein. And another great thing about the fact that the rice protein is sprouted is it really pre-digests the protein. So this organic sprouted brown rice protein is incredibly easy to digest. And as I mentioned, it is a complete protein. It has good levels of lysine. It's also hypoallergenic. In other words, very few people are allergic to this protein. That's in contrast to something like a whey protein where many people have an allergy, or a soy protein, which also many people have an allergy to. The organic sprouted brown rice protein is raw. It's never heated. It's actually, what they do is they take the sprouted brown rice and blend it up and then add an enzyme which digests the starch in the rice, and then that starch is removed, and then you're left with primarily the protein. And it's concentrated. The protein content of this organic brown rice protein is 80%. So it's 80% protein, and the other 20% are important micronutrients, things like minerals and vitamins, small amount of fiber, etc. So it's not an isolated protein. Many protein supplements are isolated. They have like 90-95%, even higher protein content. We don't really feel that's good because those types of supplements are pure protein, and protein really requires other micronutrients to be processed in the body. So if you consume a product that really doesn't have any micronutrients because it's pure protein, then that product's literally going to steal various micronutrients from your tissues in order to be processed properly. So we really like our protein to come with a high level of micronutrients in it, and we'll see that in the next slide. There's a variety of minerals and vitamins present in the organic sprouted brown rice protein in addition to the protein content. And we also use organically grown pea protein. Both of our protein sources are organically grown in this product. Pea protein is very easily digested. Many people feel that legumes in general are not well digested, and that's because they contain enzyme inhibitors. But in this case, the pea protein is water extracted from the peas, and it's also an 80% protein concentrate, so it also contains a variety of micronutrients, not just pure protein. And this pea protein is very easy to digest because in the process of extracting the pea protein, the enzyme inhibitors are left behind. This organic pea protein is also very low in phytoestrogens. A lot of people are concerned that legumes are very high in phytoestrogens, and that is true for some legumes like soy, for example. But peas are extremely low in phytoestrogens, really lower than something like almonds. So there's very low phytoestrogens to begin with in peas, and phytoestrogens are actually a fat-soluble compound, and this water extraction process leaves the what little phytoestrogens are in peas are left behind as the protein is extracted. And I mentioned that this protein is water extracted. A lot of pea protein on the market actually uses various solvents, very unhealthy solvents to extract the protein. So our protein is extracted via a water extraction process. And we verified that through solvent testing to verify that no solvents are used in the extraction of the protein in this case. Pea protein is a complete protein. If you remember the last slide, we talked about how a lot of vegetarian proteins are incomplete. Well, you'll notice in that slide we didn't talk about legumes, because legumes are actually one example of a vegetarian protein source that's complete. And legumes in general are very high in lysine. Lysine is typically that limiting essential amino acid in a vegetarian diet. Most vegetarians are deficient in lysine. Really, unless you're eating a lot of beans, you're going to be deficient in lysine as a vegetarian or a vegan. And so it's really great we have some pea protein in this product to really bring the lysine content up. That really makes this protein very beneficial for vegetarians or vegans. And pea protein is also very high in the branched chain amino acids. Branched chain amino acids are used by the body to produce energy. They also help with muscle growth. So three essential amino acids specifically are the branched chain amino acids. And a lot of athletes really look for supplements that are high in branched chain amino acids, since these amino acids are used by the body for energy production and muscle production. Specifically, leucine, isoleucine, and valine are the branched chain amino acids. And Warrior Food version 3.0 is very high in branched chains because of our inclusion of pea protein. And pea protein is also hypoallergenic. It's very infrequent that people have an allergy to pea protein. It's also raw. The extraction process is done at very low temperatures, and I mentioned it's a concentrated protein. It's about 80% protein content. So the other 20% of this product is a small amount of fiber and a variety of very important micronutrients. Let's talk now in a little more detail about the formulas in each one of the Warrior Food version 3.0 flavors. We have vanilla, plain, and chocolate flavors available. The vanilla flavor, you can see the serving size on each one of these flavors is 25 grams. Vanilla flavor has a protein content of 18 grams. Plain has a protein content of 19 grams, and the chocolate has a protein content of 17 grams. So I've got the ingredients listed down here for each one of the flavors. As you see, the protein blend in each one of these products is the sprouted brown rice protein and pea protein, both of which are organically grown. These are the ingredients that provide the 17 to 19 grams of protein content. And then in the vanilla flavor, we also have nopal cactus, wild-crafted, vanilla bean, and stevia leaf that are organically grown. Now, one thing to take note here, we don't use vanilla flavor. We use actual ground vanilla bean. We don't use that white stevia extract that's highly processed and refined. We use actual ground stevia leaf. So it's something to take note of. And in the plain formula, we don't have any flavoring. We just have the nopal cactus added to the protein blend. And the chocolate formula, we have cacao, and that's organically grown, nopal cactus wild-crafted, carob wild-crafted, cinnamon organically grown, and stevia leaf organically grown. So in this slide, I want to talk about some of the product features that make Warrior Food version 3.0 a superior protein supplement. As we mentioned, Warrior Food is raw. It's never been heated. It's hypoallergenic. Very few people have allergic reaction to the proteins in this supplement. It's gluten-free. We actually test the product to verify it's below 20 parts per million gluten content. GMO-free, casein-free. Casein is a protein that's typically found in whey that is highly allergenic. A lot of people have allergies to casein. It's lactose free. Lactose is a sugar that many people have intolerance to, creates a lot of gas, found in whey protein, not present in Warrior Food. Doesn't have any cholesterol. Warrior Food is dairy free. It's 100% organic. Organic is a quality standard that HealthForce uses, where we test for 292 different pesticides, for radiation and GMOs, and the product must show zero detectable levels of all those things to be a true organic product. So this product has passed those tests. Warrior Food is a complete protein. It's vegan, and it's 100% food. There are no chemicals or unhealthy sweeteners used in Warrior Food. No artificial flavorings. A lot of protein powders use vanilla flavor, cacao flavor, oftentimes artificial. We use actual ground vanilla bean and ground cacao bean, chocolate bean in this product. We use the healthiest sweetener, whole leaf stevia, not that highly refined processed white stevia powder. Our stevia powder is actually green because it's from the actual stevia plant, the leaf ground up. Warrior Food is high in branched chain amino acids, which remember are important for energy production and muscle growth. And it's also high in lysine, an essential amino acid which is typically deficient in vegetarian and vegan diets. Warrior Food is easy to digest. You're not going to get the gas and bloating from this protein powder that proteins like whey protein oftentimes produce. And this product is a protein concentrate. It's very rich in the bioavailable minerals. It's not a protein isolate. It doesn't have like 95% protein. It's only the protein foods in this product, the sprouted brown rice and the pea protein, are only 80% protein. And so there's plenty of room in these protein ingredients for minerals and vitamins that are important for protein metabolism. Warrior Food's also low in heavy metal content. We test this product and have verified that it is very low in heavy metals. It's very smooth consistency. You're not going to get any grit or chalky aftertaste in this product. Really, the flavor of this product and the consistency is very lovely. This product contains no isolated gums like guar gum. We use instead nopal cactus to improve the consistency of Warrior Food. And this nopal cactus really serves to maximize the endurance of people consuming it, because nopal helps to time release sugars and carbs into your bloodstream, and that prevents the blood sugar spikes, which will produce that crash and burn in energy levels in endurance athletes. So Warrior Food really, with this nopal cactus, supports long-lasting energy and endurance in athletes. And then finally, just a little bit of information on how to use Warrior Food. The suggested use is 2 heaping tablespoons. That's 25 grams per serving. And this product will mix very readily into purified water or vegetable or fruit juices or nut and seed milks, smoothies, coconut water, variety of things you can put it in, really limited only by your imagination. So I really hope you enjoy using Warrior Food to support your athletic endeavors or weight loss, or just to get more protein in your diet.